want to be the star. How you been? Good Thanksgiving? Good. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. No. He did. He did. I had a lot of fun. Hi. Give me all the I would guess so. And there was a spread out in the morning. So chicken, I think, and it was kind of buffet style, but it looked like take it. That really was cafe with that. The golden. That's a big deal for us. Just don't broadcast it to everybody. Yeah. Things are okay. Got a dog. But the dog. No, we actually did by Sean. So it's actually really good. Yeah. It is. I always did. But it was a really cool house. And that price, it's a good time. We love it. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, it's sky high. So we're really lucky because they don't think Where did you move?
So nice to get to meet in person. It's strong.
Stop.
Yeah. Were the palms bigger and you guys made it a little bit narrower?
It like changed up. Right. It's so yeah. You guys are nice. Because it's a lot. I mean, like a dog, it's a lot of work.
No, we're still waiting for two people. So.
Yeah, I'm trying. It was built in 1962. And it's pretty modern. It's got like it's sharp. It's charged windows. So the updates I'm trying to do are trying to be like really true to the 60s. But my goal is to make it so that you don't feel it's original or new. So yeah, I mean, I thought really couple years would be done. And it's like 7 years later, but it takes that long to like get to know what you want to do. Like we had put the cabinet doors on the kitchen, so you'll start playing. And then painted it with cabinets. Bases of white. And I discovered take off that can so you know that to shellac it. And so it's like it's really neat because it's wood. It looks new, but it's also really new. So I'm carrying it over to just be really mindful of the time because I think that's what I like most about the house. John Schragle, he was over here, he goes, "You guys, what's so cool about your house is it's like a museum." And I kind of cringe when I heard that because it's just like, but I know what he meant. Yeah. So it's like that gray area between you. Because there were some houses in our neighborhood that are just like it, but everything's been replaced with like, you know, a brand new Home Depot. But if it's like colonial, Italian kind of it doesn't fit in with the rest of it. Yeah. So, start trying. Here's the limo now.
Away from me.
Magdalena should be on the way. Sorry, that was another fake out. One more minute.
We just want to make sure you're all ready.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not good at
You'll be playing.
You good? All right, you guys ready? Good afternoon. On behalf of State Center Community College District Board of Trustees, I would like to thank you for joining us today as we announce the board selection of the next chancellor for State Center Community College District. I am Annalisa Perea, board president, and with me today we have Vice President Magdalena Gomez and Secretary Trustee Nazarene Johnson. So as you know, Chancellor Dr. Paul Parnell announced his retirement last spring, and his last day was July 6, 2021. At our March 2nd, 2021 meeting, the Board of Trustees approved recommendation from the ad hoc committee to contract with PPL to serve as the consultant to conduct a comprehensive national search for the next chancellor. The board also selected Dr. Douglas Houston as the interim chancellor effective May 1st, 2021, as we began our national search for a permanent chancellor. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank Dr. Houston for his leadership. The recruitment period for applications took place from June 15th to August 13th, 2021. The search committee, which consisted of 21 district employees and community members, met to prepare for interviews and spent a significant amount of time reviewing and rating applications. There were 22 candidates who completed and submitted their applications. Of the 22 candidates, 19 were men, 3 were women. There were 5 African Americans, 5 Middle Easterners, 6 whites, 4 Hispanics, 1 Armenian, and 1 Asian. Of the 22 candidates, 14 met the minimum qualifications. The search committee conducted interviews on September 22nd and September 23rd and reconvened on September 24th to discuss the candidates and to select the finalists to be forwarded to the board for interviews. 4 public forums were held to give students, faculty, and community members an opportunity to ask questions of the 3 finalists. The Board of Trustees held a special meeting on October 28th and entered closed session to conduct Chancellor finalist interviews. The Board of Trustees held a special meeting today for a formal vote on the Chancellor selection. The appointment of the new Chancellor is subject to final approval of an employment contract to be voted on at the December 14th meeting. At this time, I am pleased to announce the selection of Dr. Carol Goldsmith as the next Chancellor for State Center Community College District. This becomes effective January 1, 2022. Dr. Goldsmith is currently the president of Fresno City College and a Central Valley native with 12 years as an executive level administrator and a 25-year career in both secondary and post-secondary learning organizations. Prior to Fresno City College, Dr. Goldsmith was president of West Hills Kalinga. Dr. Goldsmith earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in history at Fresno State, a Master of Science in Educational Administration from National University, and a doctorate in educational administration from the Joint Doctorate Program offered by California State University, Fresno, and University of California, Davis. At this time, it is my great honor to ask our next Chancellor to come up here and say a few words.
Well, let me take off my mask so you can hear me a little bit better. So nice to see people in public. Thank you, President Perea, and thank you, Vice President Magdalena Gomez and Secretary Nazarene Johnson. I am both humbled and incredibly grateful to the board of the State Center Community College trustees for placing your confidence and your trust in me to be the next chancellor of this great district. With our Measure C projects coming on to fruition and being built, we're embarking upon a new era. As we continue to work together to revitalize our campuses and build upon the legacy that we've been serving this community for more than 100 years in providing excellent career technical education, amazing academic programs for transfer, and really creating an environment where teaching and learning can thrive. I'm excited to be here today amongst all of you. Now more than ever, our community needs our community colleges to remain vibrant and serve the students and communities in which we are entrusted to do. So if one thing the pandemic has taught us, we need more healthcare workers, more educators who are technologically savvy, and of course, first responders. That's what community colleges do. Having served as president in this great district over the last 5 years, the experience has allowed me a unique lens to look at this district, to see its greatness, and I can ensure all of you a smooth transition. I'm excited that we're going to be moving into this next phase for the district, and we'll continue our upward trajectory that the colleges have worked so hard to do. I need to take a moment and just say I'm thrilled to be continually being able to work with my colleagues, many of whom are in this room. I'm excited that I get to work alongside three of the best community college presidents in the state, and I need to name them by name. Dr. Lori Bennett at Clovis Community College, Dr. Jerry Buckley at Reedley College, and Dr. Angel Reyna at our newest college in Madera. Under their leadership, the faculty, the counselors, the classified professionals, and the managers at our 4 colleges have been able to navigate through this pandemic and serve our communities with distinction and make sure our students continue to graduate at record rates. That is something to be commended and something I hope that we'll continue to celebrate and continue to move forward with. So again, I am humbled and greatly grateful for this moment. Our district is well positioned, incredibly well positioned to be able to start this next chapter, for both being a catalyst for individual learning and self-improvement, and to be an active partner in the economic development that our valley needs. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I hope you are as well. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I know one thing these last 20 months have taught us: we can get through anything when we work together. So I'm confident that the future for State Center Community College is bright. Thank you. Would you like to take some questions, maybe?
Yeah, any questions? Nancy?
Dr. Goldsmith, are you at all disappointed that it was not a 7-0 vote instead of a 6-1 vote?
Your question was, am I disappointed that it was a 6-1 vote? Well, everybody likes to be loved by everybody, but that's okay. I still love and will work for everybody, all the trustees, all the students, the faculty and staff. So I don't think disappointed is the right word. I'm going to continue to do my job to the very best of my ability. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Nancy.
You mentioned some of the challenges that the district has been facing, which is pretty universal for
Yeah.
all educational organizations, which is climbing out of the pandemic. This morning, alone, there's a public commenter talking about the need to show immunization or vaccination. But this is still very controversial. That's, I think, holding a lot of people back, especially students returning to campus. What steps do you think the district can take to get students and faculty, back to where they need to be, especially students, because they haven't returned the numbers yet in their homes?
That's a really good question, Nancy, and about the impact of the pandemic that we're all still feeling. And I think so many industries, education included, is feeling that push-pull of fear and concern. And with new variants on the horizon, we're all not sure. I think the public debate on that will continue, and our district continues to be a little microcosm of that. So we're going to continue to implement the board resolution and the board policy with grace and as much latitude as we can, given those parameters, to try to keep everybody safe. Again, I want to point everybody to our graduation and success records, because despite those numbers of people not attending, the students who are attending are persisting and succeeding at levels we've never seen before. So for any student who may be sitting on the sideline, we also know that, you have an opportunity to also see incredible gains in employment, because employment is at the lowest it's ever been. We know that wages are high, but I can guarantee you, your education is something that will continue to provide for you and your family. One of the things we saw was those professions that had a college education and had some post-secondary education behind it, those were the ones that were impacted less severe as those who were not during COVID. So I want to encourage any student who's thinking about coming back to school. You have 4 community colleges here that want to serve you. And we have been given a wonderful opportunity through the Biden administration to provide additional support through the HERF funds, the American Recovery Funds. We have faculty who are ready to help you both online, on ground, and hybrid. because we know that's the wave of the future. So while we've been here 100 years, in fact, Nancy, we were here during the first pandemic. I wasn't personally, but our institutions were. I'm confident that we'll make it through this next national and global challenge. Thank you, Nancy, for that question. Next question. Lady, hi.
So what will be your first priority as you get started?
Well, the first priority, and I kind of shared this a little bit during the open forum. While a lot of new candidates will say they're going to go and listen, they're going to go on a listening tour. I too am pledging to listen, but I'm also pledging that we need to stay focused on the recovery of, as Nancy pointed out, from the pandemic. So I'll continue to work with our presidents and help them really be able to implement the plans that they want to implement that will bring students back on ground and online and be able to help with the technological tools so they can be successful in a hybrid experience. Also want to take a look at working with the Vice Chancellor of Finance and looking at our district finances. We're at a really good place, and I want to make sure we stay fiscally solvent. We're, after all, stewards of the public goodwill. And of course, Measure C. At every one of our colleges, we have projects coming out of the ground. In fact, tomorrow at Reedley College, there's going to be a groundbreaking for a new child development center, soon to be followed by a child development groundbreaking at Fresno City College. Madera is hoping that we're going to get a new Oakhurst campus. That's at DSA, should be coming out in the next 45 days. That second phase of the academic building in Clovis will be coming soon. Madera has a brand new building out there. And of course, the West Fresno campus. If you drive out to West Fresno, an area that has been left behind for decades, is coming online. We're making good on those promises, and now we need to make sure they're staffed with the people that will be able to run those fabulous buildings. So we're excited. This is a great time to be in education, a challenging time, but a great time nonetheless. Thank you for that question. Do I have any messages for the students? Yes. For any student who's ever struggled with a class, whether it's English or math, I was you. When I was in high school, I can guarantee you my counselor never thought I would go into education, or much less complete a college education. I was the first one in my family to do so. I had to go to tutoring. Math was difficult, but finally, through tutoring and lots of help, understand the value and importance of math, and now it's one of my favorite subjects. So if you're struggling with the class, don't let that stop you. If you're hearing people saying, well, you're not good enough or your family's never gone, don't let somebody else's opinion of you define who you are, because you are divinely created to do something great. And I believe education is the path to help you find what that greatness is within you. So don't let anybody ever tell you you can't, because if I would have done that, I would have never been standing here with you today. Never in a million years would I have thought I'd be leading 4 community colleges in this great district. That's from a kid who had a learning disability at an early age. Don't let anybody ever define you. And we want you back. Thank you for that question. Next question. Nancy Price to the rescue. Go ahead.
This might be actually more of a question for Board President Moran, but what's the, this is a little bit of a domino effect now. We will have a Fresno City College president, so what's the next step?
Well, I think we are well positioned as board trustees. We're here at a very exciting time where we get to choose not just the next chancellor, but the next president for Fresno City College. I trust that there will be some transitioning going on at Fresno City College to make sure we continue to educate our students to the best of our abilities. And sooner than later, we will begin the process to find us a permanent president for Fresno City College.
Will there be somebody who's trained, who does an interim job, who basically holds down the floor while you're serving?
I will have to maybe defer to somebody else on that question, but there will be an interim person to make sure that we continue to just move forward at the current pace we're moving in. Any other questions? Ooh, that's a good question. Did we have that in the packet? No?
It's going to be discussed at the next board meeting.
Yeah, we will be discussing and voting on the actual compensation at the next board meeting. That'll be December 14th. Any last questions? Well, if that's it, I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to come. And if you want to do individual interviews with our next chancellor, you are more than welcome to do that. Thank you, everyone.
I run away. Thanks for being here.